Right. Hello and welcome to the talk. I have here Abdul, and I'm going to let him introduce himself. So how would you like to introduce yourself to the people?
So I'm the Crown Prince, Prime Minister, Minister of Information of the United Empire, which is the biggest and most powerful Rec Room clan community. So yeah, my name's Abdul.
Okay. How did you come to this position?
So currently we have the GE, right? But a long time ago, instead of the GE, we had something called the Clone Wars, right? And I joined it like out of coincidence, like 2.5 years ago, somewhere around that, 3 years ago maybe. And like I looked at the co-owner button. At that time there was Muhiz and Raz, and I pressed on Muhiz, and his ad name at the time was an Arabic name, and I'm Arabic, and I was like, oh, let me add this guy, and like I added him. The next day he messaged me. We got to know each other. He invited me to like a very serious meeting and stuff, and he introduced me to like RE. That's what UE used to be known as. Is RE, the Rec Empire, and at that time there was the SIA and the Rec Military. The Rec Military has always been there when RE was founded. And he introduced me to the SIA, and I went on from there. I became his personal bodyguard for quite a while. I even escorted other important clan leaders. At the time they were important. By now those clan leaders are very denounced in the current moment. Denounced by us too, but at that time they were friendly. Such as Evoker, for example. I would have escorted people like Evoker to Muhiz's office, and we would have had like very serious talks about alliances, everything like that. FBI and RE were best allies. We would do everything, notify each other about everything. Um, and then I slowly went up the ranks from there. I was I was like his personal bodyguard, and then I became the security director because the security director at the time of the SIA resigned or he went inactive. I took the position, and then he came back as an executive director, which is basically a second in command, and then he fully retired, and I was like, this is an opportunity for me. Let me try to become the second in command of the SIA. So I did that, and it worked. And then I joined the rec military, and yeah. From there, I kept jumping the ranks until I won. Uh, I actually, we had a lot of talks about an election, a prime minister election. It was never something serious, but we've always had the idea of establishing a government. At the time, there was like no government body, no federal council, you know? It was just the individual council of every clan itself that managed everything inside of inside of the clan itself. And uh, I won the first prime minister election. I rallied a lot of votes, like 2 months prior to the election itself. I won by a landslide. And fun fact, we had that was when I got prime minister, right? But we've had approximately like 3 more elections after that, and I won every single one of those democratically by a landslide, which means by like a massive majority practically. Usually I've won by double, no, more than double of what my enemy has, and that's one of my big accomplishments. And then the fourth prime minister election, that's where the royalty started becoming a thing. And at that time, like, I remember Roz was running to abolish the government and start a royal institution, and uh, and he had like we had like terms of negotiation, and I told him, okay, you make me a prince and give me a like an entitlement that I will never lose my position, and I will like drop out of the election and let you win. So I was gonna drop out of the race, let him win, and work for him as long as I would have a guaranteed position. he disagreed. And then people rallied around. Uh, it was gonna, like, everyone was looking at the polls and they were like, oh, who's gonna win? I had the majority, which was a very bad look for the royal family at the time. So he dropped out of the election. He endorsed another candidate in the election. I still won, and we started working ahead of that to like start our own royal family that would be like good for both of us, which is what we have now. And that's when I got crown prince.
So, some follow-up questions. What methods did you use to obtain the landslide win?
I used a lot of. See, I'm a political person. I have a lot of. I don't like, people don't like this about me, but I have aggressive politics. The way I run, like, the clan itself is very, very aggressive compared to other clan leaders. If I see the slightest bit of, like, treason in someone, I would get rid of them. I would, like, sack them instantly. I don't look to give second chances unless there was no first chance to begin with. It's weird to explain, but I don't forgive or forget. So people think it's a bad thing, but I know deep down that at the end of the day, it's the best for the clan. An authoritarian rule in Rec Room is better for the clan, and I mean, UE is a prime example of that, and that's what secured me a victory in the elections, in my opinion. People might think differently, but that's what I think.
Have there been any repercussions from this political, um, how did you describe it, aggressiveness?
Uh, you mean negative side effects? Like,
Yes.
yeah, many. I mean, personal attacks. I got death threats. I got people sending me my location and saying they're gonna kill me. Yeah, but like it's life, I've gotten it many times. People have told me, sending me my location and telling me that they're gonna kill me. That has happened to me. So
How
yeah,
have you handled this negativity?
I mean, it's not like it's not good for my mental health, but like it started to get better, knowing that nothing's actually gonna happen, realizing that nothing's actually gonna happen. No one's gonna like actually go out and commit a crime because of a video game. That's why I always say, like I don't care if people know where I live. I'm proud of where I live. I live in Dubai, the city of gold, the city of diamonds. Um, yeah, and I'm proud of that. Like, so when you acknowledge the fact that nothing's actually gonna happen, that's when you start to uh, not have the negative mental side effects.
Who were your competitors in those elections?
Hmm. The first election, there was Mark Omega, right? He was planning a lot of stuff. But one thing about me, I'm a very intrigued person, I have a lot of knowledge from both sides. So my own side, and I have a lot of intel from the other side. That's one thing about me. I've always been like that. I've I've paid people to give me information in the past when there was at times of war, for example. It's not something I think is wrong. I always do it for the good. Um, but like Mark Omega was the first competitor in an election. He was it seemed like he was gonna win in the like initially, right? Because he has a history, but his history with UE specifically wasn't that good because he owns SDV, or owned. I don't know if he does anymore. He owned SDV, which Ross gave it to him temporarily, and he never gave it back to Ross. That's why RE was created in the first place. So I use that to my advantage, like in a political sense. Um, and like he had a lot of like stuff that he said that I had to expose. like saying the N-word in public, calling black people the N-word just because they're of black descent, which I'm very against racism. I've always said it, like, clearly. Don't be racist in front of me or behind me. If I catch you, you're gone, you know? So yeah. And I've had other competitors. I think the... I don't know if it's the most recent election or the election before that. I ran against Anti-Perks, who was my head of the Anti-Corruption Committee, which is a committee in government which handles corruption cases. So it was very surprising for me to have someone running my anti-corruption committee becoming like a backstabber, you know? Someone that backstabbed me for power. Another competitor, and Anti-Perks was easy to handle. Just put a lot of pressure and he resigned from the race. He just stopped. He pulled out, right? Then I had another competitor, which is the one I will never forgive. He was my secretary, my advisor. He was everything you could think of, my best friend, everything. Donald Trump. He currently is the leader of Oasis Military. One of the leaders. They have three. And he got banned from there a long time ago. Because he was the Speaker of the House and they fired him. And he wanted to seek refuge. And I was like, don't worry, I got you. Okay? I let him come to UE. I was like, okay, this is your new home. You can, like, jump the ranks. I'm not gonna give you, like, special treatment. But, you know, since I lead the government, and I know you have experience with politics, why don't you come with me and help me with the government? He became a parliamentarian for quite a while. I gave him some positions in government that are like management positions that I later disbanded because they had no use, and the election was coming up, which then he announced that he was running for prime minister. This was a complete shock, because it's always been a rule in my party that you cannot run against the party any time in the future, which both Anti-Perks and Trump did. That's why I've always had paranoia, even with the closest people to me. I never trust anyone anymore. I mean, with few exceptions, obviously. Like, Natho. He's the general of MP and the executive director of the Joint Special Forces. And my secretary and advisor. He's the only exception. I've known him for around 3 years now. Close to that. But, yeah. I think it's a good thing to be paranoid. Like, because it keeps you safer, you know? But yeah, that's all my competitors in all the elections. And then there was the Emperor, Roz. But he dropped out of the election too. But I guess we don't talk about the election because it's just history.
What are your thoughts about UE in general, rather?
I mean, other people might disagree. People from other clans. No one from UE actually, like, says UE isn't the most powerful. But one thing when I think of UE, I instantly think most powerful clan, and always will be the most powerful clan, you know? And there is many evidence to back that up. So that's what comes to my mind.
What kind of support is needed for an effective military?
I think the people have a lot of power. That's one thing. I think the power of the people backing their government or their higher-ups, their council, that's the most important thing. That's the kind of support a military needs. Alliances don't matter. I'm telling you, like, straight up, alliances don't matter. It's to the point that I just don't care about the foreign affairs anymore. Like, clans come to me, they request for alliances. I don't care. They don't matter, you know? And I will be seeking in the future to completely abolish the foreign ministry, which is something I think is actually good. We don't care about other clans. We think that we should rely on ourselves. The people should put their trust in us, as they have in the past, and it worked out very well for both of us. both us and the people. This is one big thing that makes us different from other clans. When we started making actual revenue, we've reinvested millions of tokens in infrastructure plans. In CV2, the GE has one of the most advanced CV2 in all of the Rec Room clan community. Same with the SEP. And then the upcoming Rec military map is gonna have, or we consider it the most elite Rec Room clan map. And we know that for a fact. No other clan has something similar.
Tell me about your revenue. Where does it come in and from what sources?
From our clans. That's it. We're very
Okay.
we have a business mind, you know. We think very like well, we care about the people obviously, but something that helps us fund the people is the revenue that the people make for us. You know, like okay, we have parts of it goes to our own use obviously because we made everything, we started everything in the first place. But we've invested more than any clan, and I can guarantee this. We've invested more than any clan into the clan itself, like than any other clan in Rec Room. We've invested millions of tokens. Millions. And when I say millions, I mean, like, if I give you an actual, like, concrete number, it should be, like, around 7 to 10 million tokens reinvested into the clan.
How do you encourage tokens or gifts of tokens from the people?
I don't think people should gift us tokens. Like, we're not paid to win. People should waste their money however they want to. But, like in GE, you can have an XP boost, for example. That's not a donation. It's for your own benefit, you know? So I'm not gonna tell anyone to like waste their tokens and donate to us. We don't need it, but we are very grateful for it. You understand?
Could you give me any specifics on perhaps how much tokens you obtain, or is that all sort of classified?
It's classified.
Okay.
We
All right then.
just it's above like all clans combined probably.
Sure.
We have a good strategy when it comes to marketing. It's not like we're not exploiting the system or anything. We're just better at we all have backgrounds in real life at least. My father is a businessman. He has a master's degree in business marketing, whatever. I don't even know. But I've grown up in that, in that mindset. And I think Raj and Asim have some background that's not similar, but similar at the same time. So we all have the brain for that to happen. I think that's why. But I can't really give you an exact number.
What is the strongest area of this military?
Definitely the rec military. I mean, it's not the fastest growing anymore. That's definitely GE and SEP. But the rec military is where all the strictness is actually mostly enforced. The G and SEP aren't supposed to be strict. They are to an extent, but they're not supposed to be like fully strict. Follow the rules. The rec military is, and the JSFC, for example. But the JSFC is the Joint Special Forces, where all the special forces of each branch, like every branch has its own unit of special forces. That's where they all communicate through the JSFC, and they all have a meeting every week under my command, where they shall discuss future plans of mine, obviously. But yeah, the main power, like the main place where the Iron Fist of UE is direct military. But the main like the main source of members at the moment is GE and SCP. Yeah.
In general, what is the strongest area of a military? Not any military in specific, but just of a military in general.
Um, I think like special forces. Like if a clan has normal like soldiers and then special forces units that are like the elite soldiers combined into like units, that's like the strongest part of a military, in my opinion.
So what makes a special forces unit strong?
if all the elite members of the clan can be a part of it. It also really depends on the leadership of a clan. It's not as simple as like what it seems. For us, we have a authoritarian rule, right? The leaders of UE can do whatever we want. And clans like Oasis Military and other democratic clans, like the Eldorian Realm, they need um, the people's like agreement, approval for every single action, which in some cases is not very well, which in the past also has been clear that it's not very well if the people have the same equal power as the government, at least in Rec Room 6. So I'm not saying like I promote fascism in real life or anything, but in Rec Room 6 it's always been better.
What area of the rec military would you say is lacking?
I don't think, like, to me everything is going good, but like if I wouldn't say it myself. I would probably speak to people like in the rec military and see their opinion. I wouldn't make my own opinion part of it. I like to hear what the people have to say.
Okay. What have the people said about rec military?
There's been negative and positive things said about the rec military. Negative from everyone that's not part of it. We've always had the image as the aggressors, in the Rec Room clan community, amongst the clans that hate us. And they've kept spreading that image, completely ignoring their history, you know? Like at the moment, I'm cool with Oasis Military, for example. Like the Oasis Military. But their past is, like, unforgettable. What they've done to UE is, like, something we cannot forget. Something we will not forgive. But it's something we can have discussions about and work ahead of it.
Have you ever improved an area of the military due to people's criticism?
Yeah, of course. Like, I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. And sometimes I don't see the open picture.
Sure.
That's why I think the people should at least have the right to come to me and tell me, hey, this is wrong, hey, this is right, But not in an aggressive way, because that never ends well for anyone. If they approach me in an aggressive way trying to protest, like, oh, your decision is bad, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Not having it, Like, all the effort that was put into the clan over you just, like, for you to just come over and, like, protest and be violent. We're not having that. We don't do protests in UE. Other clans do, we don't.
So how should the people go about criticizing you?
I think in a respectful manner. That's it. We don't have rules against, like, freedom of speech. That's guaranteed for all. But
So
obviously
what
there's
would you
boundaries.
consider a respective manner?
Like someone coming to my DMs or coming to me on the map and telling me, hey, I disagree with what you did here. I disagree with what you did there. And I think that you should possibly find a way to, like, fix that. I don't think that coming to me in a violent manner and saying, oh, you're a blah blah blah, you did this. That's not what I want to hear. We've always been against violent freedom of speech. We've always been for constructive criticism. I can call it that, I guess.
How do you maintain an approachable character, and do the people view you as an approachable character?
Some do, but I think I try to make it clear that I am an approachable character. But I know for a fact that some people fear me very much, which I don't blame them. As I said, I don't forgive or forget. Like, I've not forgiven people for doing stuff. That is so simple. But like, you can approach me, you can talk to me if you disagree with something. Just don't be violent. Just don't show any, like, sense of violence, and I won't do anything. I won't bite.
How do you think outsiders view rec military, people who aren't in the military or UE in general?
It really depends on which outsiders you mean. If you mean like the outsiders are our enemies, they just view us as aggressors or past enemies. They like past enemies of ours or current enemies. They just view us as an aggressor clan. Even though at the moment, well, okay, we used to have aggressive history with other clans. We had like rough speed bumps, you know, but we moved away from that. Ever since the launch of GE and the SCP, we've mainly started focusing on ourselves, as I said. As I said also in the beginning of this interview, that we are on a path to completely not requiring the foreign ministry to even exist. We don't need to have discussions with other clans if we're fully self-reliant, which is what we're going for. So I think, yeah, they see us as an aggressor and stuff. But there are some clans that have good like views on us, and they think of us very well. So
What
yeah.
about people who aren't in any clans, who are just sort of more casual players? What do you think about a military clan thing?
I think most of them think it's like a joke. You know, they think it's like why would I do this? It's like roleplay. Like no, it's disgusting. And there are some people involved in the roleplay aspect that say, ah, why is it roleplay? And I usually when they like say, ah, I don't like roleplaying, it's so childish. I'm like, then leave, you know? Leave. No one's forcing you to be here. Like them, you know. So I think that that's what they usually think. This is like a roleplay. It's so disgusting. It's so weird, you know. Obviously, no one's forcing them to like it. It's their choice to like disagree, like it or dislike it.
What are your personal goals for the future here?
Um, we plan on, but I say we, I mean the royal family. Uh, I think our goal is to keep expanding. That's like our main focus now. It's not to be violent against other clans or anything like that. Just keep expanding and keep focusing on ourselves. Because we're self-reliant, fully self-reliant at the moment. We don't require anyone's help. If we stay on that path and we keep going, we can fully not require to even speak with other clans. They would be like on a lower level than us. Which they already are. Most clans are compared to us like insects, you know? Sunflower seeds, as I like to say.
How much can you even expand the current military?
I mean, we can expand as much as we want. There is no limit. Like, and if we run out of the genres, we can just keep making new ones. Okay, we've gotten in the GE. We have the biggest like Star Wars community, which we actually got that title very recently. We beat the Star Wars place, whatever they're called. Um, we are now the biggest Star Wars community. We're on the path to become the biggest SCP community. We're literally, like if you look at the statistics, we're on the path. We're about to do it. The cheers are going up, the visits are going up. We're gonna beat the first biggest SCP. But if you consider activity, we have the biggest SCP community. And we've always been known for this. We have the biggest military roleplay community. What else can we do is completely up to us. We can create a whole new genre. And with our marketing skills and promoting skills, we can easily get it like to work, to function like a proper clan. So I think no one can stop us. No one can stop us. There has been a few speed bumps with what I like to call overzealous beavers, but like we don't get into that. These are some rec room like ink overflow people, but like we don't really care. We're gonna keep expanding, no matter what these overzealous beavers want to say.
So what current areas are you expanding?
Um, we're working on infrastructure plans at the moment. We're building a whole new rec military map, which we're hoping to be finished by the end of this month or the beginning of the next month. We don't have a specific date, obviously, but this is the approximation, you know? So, yeah, I think that's what we're mainly doing at the moment. We've hired a total of 12 builders from the uh, from some marketplace in Rec Room, full of professional builders. We've hired a lot of those, and which is costing us around, let's say, 5 to 6 million tokens. But to us, that's peanuts. We can afford it, you know. And especially knowing that it's for the good of the clan, we're even more motivated to waste said money.
How many different maps have there been over the course of UE?
What, for the rec military, or in
Yes.
general, like for all of you? For the rec military,
Yeah,
there's
let's go for all of UE. How many maps have there been? Or how many iterations of each map have
there's
been gone
been
through?
there's been the Clone Wars, right? I think they had 2 maps in the past, or 3, and then now it's the Galactic Empire, which is the most popular. There has been so that's 4, like Star Wars, or no, 3 to 4 Star Wars maps that were owned and created by us in the past. STV was actually owned by us in the past, by Roz himself. He created it. Um, so that's one, but that's a completely separate thing. It's before RE existed, the Rec Empire, and UE before that existed. We've had multiple, like several SIA maps. SIA has always been a tough clan to grow, because at the time we had low amounts of management. But I think it's an abandoned project, to be honest. Like the SIA, it's something that we're not gonna look forward on creating again until some time passes. It's not an important thing to us. We have way more important things to be worrying about, and SIA is not one of them. And then the SCP has had just one map, which is the current one, which is a massive success, a huge success, with approximately 400 to 500 cheers a day, which is astonishing. It's beautiful.
How secure would you say the current Rec military base is?
It's not, like, secure. There's many ways to glitch in, but like we don't care, you know? We don't care. Like, you can glitch in, do whatever you want. You're gonna get, like, you can raid, like, okay, you can raid, we're gonna kick you, we're gonna shoot you, we're gonna ban you. I don't care what happens. Like, what really matters is, like, what the people think, right? I don't care if people raid us, as long as the clan is stable, which it is stable, under my leadership and Raz and Awesome. Obviously, the royal family is very stable. The 3 pillars of the United Empire is our nickname, which means we are the 3 pillars that hold up the clan, because we're 3 people, and if one of us gets knocked down, the whole clan falls with it.
Is there risk of of a collapse in the military right now?
No, not at all. And we don't see anything. We don't see any signs of that specific thing happening. But if we do, we're gonna make sure to inform the people first, and we're gonna make sure to handle it ourselves, if that works, without informing the people. Because the people can be quite radical, in some sense, if you inform them of stuff very too early on, you know? It's good to have classified intel, or information in general. It's good to keep stuff classified sometimes.
What do you think about the about the Rec military map's current music?
So, funny enough, I was the one that picked that anthem. It's the Ottoman Empire anthem, uh, from 1299 to 1922, I think. I'm not sure about the dates, but that's the anthem that they used in that span of time. And it's very imperial, and I really love it. But I think if we were to change it, if I were to decide what's next, I think a Russian style anthem would be nice.
What new developments are being created?
At the moment, as I said, we're mainly focusing on the next Rec military map. It's the most elite Rec Room clan map. that's ever going to be published. It's going to come with the actual welcome map, which is where you're going to go when you join. After that, it's going to take you to the actual base. From the actual base, you'll have the ability to go to different subrooms. Approximately, there will be more than 7 subrooms, I would say, or 11. Let's say in total, there will be more than 11 subrooms. Every branch will have its own training map. The JSFC will have a new map. I'm not sure about the Imperial Legion. I don't think we're in discussion yet about that, but it's taking us approximately it takes us a few hours to complete with the current investments that we have put. We have people that can construct a whole terrain of a map in just around 3 hours. So the people have nothing to worry about considering the time span, and especially knowing that we have the most elite CV2 gadgeteers, we have the most elite terrain people, the most elite people that build using tubes, which is the most ink efficient way of building. So the people should be looking forward to that, I think.
You gone through training yourself?
In the rec military, yes, but in the SIA, which is where I began, I did not. I was just given a bio. That's it. I had connections with Muhiz, which was a former emperor. Um, and that got me to that point that at the time the SIA wasn't going very well. And I was like one of his closest friends and stuff. So he just entitled me to, oh, okay, you can have the A1, which is like the Agent 1 rank, the lowest rank. And he put like TB Muhiz. Took the credit for training me without actually training me, basically. So I wasn't really trained in the SIA, but in the rec military I was trained by Zinger, I believe, into the Navy SEALs in RE days. It's the rec empire.
So, what was that like going through training in the rec military?
At the time it was simpler, but like something about the old days just makes everything feel different. Maybe it's because Rec Room was different itself. Like Rec Room looks different now than it did at the time. The way of building, the style of building wasn't as advanced as if you look at like this room, for example. You know, we wouldn't build something like this like a few years ago. This was like unimaginable. This was Roblox that builds, you know. But now we have accessibilities that make us capable of building such things.
Do you feel the training you had prepared you for what you then went on to do in rec military?
Um, Not really, because I never planned anything in the first place. I was just getting trained because like my friend was the highest rank in the clan, you know. That's the only reason I got trained,
Sure.
you know. But it's him being my very close friend didn't get me where I am, and I'm 100% sure of that. I have requested like promotions many times at the time, obviously, very long ago, and they got denied. So it's not my friendship with him that got me here. It was my dedication and hard work that did.
How effective is it to properly train uh, people who are coming into the military?
I think it's effective to have a proper like well training like that can explain a lot, especially in UE terms, as we have a lot to explain. You know, our system isn't that that like easy. Such as the royal family structure, the government structure, the Imperial Legion being completely disconnected from all the clans, which is practically our private army for the royal family, you know. So it's really like we need to dig into the people's heads to teach them that. In the rec military, it's way easier as everyone has to go through a specific educational process to actually go through a specific point in their rank, you know. So I think it is very important, yeah. For us, for other clans, like a fast and useless training is very good for them. But for us, a more effective training that where you need to actually read stuff explain the ranks properly and everything, like manually have to be done by an actual person. That's important to us.
Do you think the rec military's current training methods are sufficient? Do you think they do what they need to do?
Yeah, just to put it simply, yeah. Like, some people might want it to be like harder and everything, but they don't understand if we make it harder than it already is, it will just be bad for the clan. Like, someone's gonna get bored while being trained. That's not something we want.
Is there anything you would change about the current methods?
No. I mean, maybe we're installing a whole new system in the next map, so it's gonna be changed, but I can't really go into detail. So I'm gonna say no for now, but I'm just like saying it will be changed, yes.
Have you personally trained anyone?
Yes. In the rec military, only a few. In the SCP when it came out, I've trained like 50 people, or around 30 to 50. But it's not really my job to train. It is when we're launching up a new clan, because we need a lot of like work and effort to like we need to pump the fuel, on the fire so the fire can be big. And I hope like this example as well. But it's only I only train when I have to, which is in those cases when we are making a new clan and we need it to be big. That's when I work with the people in training, like specifically on training. I work with the people with everything, but specifically in training is when that's the case.
You have trained a lot of people. Is there anyone that any people that you have trained that you have said, yes, that person is going to go places?
I mean, I try to think. I try to. Yeah, there has been people like that. I think a lot of them actually are getting places. Um, but there has been cases of like like sometimes I think someone's gonna get somewhere, and then they completely like change. Their whole character changes when they're not around me. Some people are like that. They see me, they think, oh, I need to be serious for this specific time, and then I can just do whatever I want. So there has been cases where that has happened too.
Do you follow up with your trainees? Keep in touch with them, perhaps?
I keep in touch with everyone. I try to at least. They like, I'm not able to obviously like DM everyone back when they DM me. I have a lot on my like hands already. I do a lot already. So I think that I try to, but it's not specifically my training. It's like the people in general. You know, I don't see people higher than others. Everyone is the same to me.
So throughout all the different clans you currently run, how many people would you say per week get trained into UE?
Per week,
Approximately.
like 700 approximately.
That's a lot.
More maybe, because not all of them join Discord too, and especially in G and SCP. Those are just it's people. They're printing people. I can't explain it to you, but I can like look right now, okay? This is completely like un, like, this wasn't planned or anything, this is completely random. But let me just give you an example, right? So if we go to the Star Wars, the GE, settings and then instances, right? So I'll tell you the current instances. Just in this one clan of ours, right? There is Tatooine, one subroom with 22 people. Tatooine, 23 people. Hoth base, 25 people, which is full. Entry base, entry room, 8 people. Hoth base, 17. Tatooine, 21 people. Hoth base, 21 people. Scarif training map, which is where the trainings happen. 18. Tatooine, 16. Scarif, 14, which is the training again. So you see already there's two like almost full training instances, and then there's a war training instance going on. Okay, this is just one clan. This is just one clan. We're getting there. One sec. let me let me go to the SCP now. And I'm just gonna go over just to be quick, I'm just gonna go over the SCP and the Rec Military. So
Sure.
the SCP is not obviously as big as the GE at the moment, like as active I mean, but there is the main base. This is like the instances. There's the base, 24 people. Another base instance, 25 people. A training instance, 17 people. Another base instance, 25 people. Another base instance, 25 people. They're all full. Welcome instance with 13 people. And another base instance with 17 people. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question. Or I hope
It
that
does, yes.
gives you evidence, you know? So yeah,
What
approximately, when you consider even the ones that don't join the Discord, it's 700 and more, like way more.
what is UE doing to encourage new recruits?
We give extra XP in GE and SCP. We give extra XP to people that train. So like if you train someone, you're gonna get XP, which is then gonna be beneficial for you to get a promotion and stuff. So
So what are you doing to encourage other people outside of these clans to decide to want and join them?
events, training events, obviously. It's not me personally doing them, obviously. It's the managing position, people with the managing positions in those clans. They're the ones that do that. Yeah.
Have you yourself ever encountered any actual combat?
Yes, many times. There's a funny clip of me actually, where when we were at war with Viper, which by the way Viper is completely gotten rid of, thanks to me obviously. They're hated by almost every clan in the clan community, but I was the one that got rid of their base. I'm not gonna get into detail. Their Discord doesn't exist. I didn't sincerely get involved myself, but there was some side talks with me and the person that did it. I didn't encourage him to do it or anything. It was like, I'm doing this for you, and this is gonna be in your name. And I was like, okay, like I'm not encouraging you to do this, but thank you very much. And I was given full credit for being the one that destroyed Viper. I destroyed Viper, and I was very proud of that. But there's this one video, Lamps. He records videos in Rec Room and the clan community and whatever. And he was on a raid with UE on Viper Military. And there's a funny part where I'm like, I was yelling at a guy that's there because the bridge was closed and we couldn't cross the bridge. I was yelling, I was like, hey, like, open the bridge and I'll give you a high rank in UE, open the bridge. And like, it was so funny, everyone was laughing in the clip. It was so funny. And the video kind of became a meme, you know? So that's, yeah, I have experience with real combat. But I'm usually behind the curtains. I'm the guy with the strings in my fingers, you know? I tell this person to do this person to do this at this specific time. I tell this person to go get information on this place, blah, 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 and so on and so forth.
See, what is your favorite firearm and why?
My favorite firearm is, my favorite firearm is doing this, and then room ban, and then ban. My favorite firearm.
That's good. That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
So,
Everyone knows that
my
about me.
follow-up, my follow-up question is, how accurately can you shoot?
You're being
I
serious
would
with
assume
that question?
100% of the time.
No, I'm not. No, it really depends. Like if I'm on screen or VR.
Sure, sure. What do you think about the Rec military's uniforms?
It's necessary. It keeps everything strict to an extent.
Okay. Could you be a little bit more specific on how exactly you feel they do that?
It makes people feel like something's being enforced on them, imposed, but not fully, but to an extent, which it makes it feel like a work environment, you know? Not a hangout map. You know, it's a work environment.
what message do you wish to give to the people? If there was something you could say to everyone part of UE, what would you tell them?
You might need to, this is gonna be hard to edit, right? But like, a,
Probably, yeah, it'll be
a message
lengthy.
I would, a message I would like to give everyone, don't with me. Don't, like, don't do stupid. I swear to God, I'm gonna come for you. I'm gonna come for your friends. I'm gonna come for everyone that's close to you. I'm gonna ban them. I swear to God. Career, gone. Everything about you, gone. Your whole history, just gone. Right? Because I put so much hard work and effort like into this clan, and I don't want to see stupid people thinking that, like, I don't want to see pick-me's, I don't like pick-me's. I think that's a term you Americans use a lot. I don't like pick-me's, and I swear to God, like, that's a threat to everyone. Don't mess with me.
Okay. And trust me, this guy is very intimidating, by the way. You don't want to get on his bad side. So what message would you like to give to new recruits, people who have just got into a clan and are wanting to, prosper? What would you tell them?
Go with the flow. That's what I'd say. Like, don't make it your main goal to be a high rank. Just go with the flow. It's gonna happen. Because everyone wants that. Like, that's what everyone thinks. So, oh, I want to be a high rank in this clan, and blah, blah, blah. That shouldn't be the way you're thinking. It should be something that motivates you to just, like, work. Just go with the flow. That's what I
Okay.
suggest.
Tell me about UE's origin.
Okay. So, it all starts at SDV, right? Roz owned that. It was beautiful. It was nice. And, like, it was a beauty. And there was some, like, I'm gonna, like, summarize all of the SDV issue. And there was, like, some issues that happened. Roz went inactive for a bit, and he gave the ownership to Mark Omega, which is the guy that ran against me in the first Prime Minister election. And with the intel I had someone in his party, a few people actually, that were secretly working for me, double agents, you could call them. And they actually gave me intel at the time of the election that he was planning to make SDV a part of UE. That was his plan the whole time, to win the election and do that. But anyways, so SDV, Roz was refused the ownership given back to him by Mark Omega when Roz wanted to come out of inactivity. That kind of motivated Roz to start his whole new thing, right? Which was the Wreck Empire, to start his new empire. The military, the SIA, the intelligence agency, which was the SIA, which is where I began, and the Clone Wars. We've always had the expansionist like mindset. We've always wanted to expand and nothing less and nothing more. We always had a history of expanding. We've had the Clone Wars, the SIA, and the Iraq military at that time. All of them were active. Obviously some like bumps on the road were threatening to that activity. But it's ultimately when the Wreck Empire began, um, everything was going well until the SIA became a little inactive, and it used to be more active than the Iraq military actually to some point, and then that stopped, and then the Clone Wars tried to get independence from the Iraq Empire because of a guy called Greengris, which, trust me, I hate him. Everyone hates him. But his name is Greengris, and he tried to get independence. He called for independence of the Clone Wars from the from the Iraq Empire, right? I told him, hey, listen, this is not a good idea. Like, we don't want you to do this, okay? Eventually, we let go. We said, like, it's too much to handle, let him just go, right? And it wasn't a mistake. We knew what was going to happen. We anticipated that he was going to fail ultimately. And guess what happened? He failed. The clan just, it died. Right when they split up from us, it just died. There was no name to hold it up. Green he's not popular. No one knows him. He's an insect. He's an ant. Like, no one knows him, right? And he just wants calls for independence. Oh, when there is a revolution happening, there should be a face that, like, a face that's popular amongst the people that is leading the revolution. At that time, there was no, like, popular figure. It was just Greengrass. No one liked him. So we'll just let it go. And the, like, Clone Wars became no longer a part of UE, right? And SIA became inactive. We kept it, like, considered it a part of RE still. It was just very inactive. And then the Rec Military had a rank reset. We were planning a big rank reset, so we can reset the council, the members, everything was going to reset. That was widely disagreed by the generals and the council, because they were going to lose their, oh, I worked so hard for this position, I have mod, I worked so hard for it. They were all going to lose that. So what did they do? They started a revolt. Civil unrest began, which is what caused the existence of the Oasis military, actually. The Oasis military's leaders were Zinger and Shy Fox. Zinger is the person, as I said, that trained me to Navy SEALs, right? So these two people led a revolt against us, the Rec Empire, to start their own military. They called it the Oasis military. And it was like, oh, if you hate UE, join us. Or RE at the time. If you hate RE, join us. We're welcome to all. Freedom, democracy. But their democracy was garbage. To this day, the democracy in OM is garbage. The democracy that they have is stupid. Their election system is practically you're elected for life. How is that good? You're elected, and the only reason, and the only way you can be removed is through a vote that the people make. So there's no term limit, there is no room for other people to try, other people that may be better than you. You know, if you're the leader, for example, there's no room for that. It's a bad democracy. It's a bad example of democracy, right? Democracy is justice. Democracy is peace. This is not democracy. How can people call that a democracy? They call themselves a democracy. It's not democracy. So that's caused OM's existence. So what we did, we were like, okay, our clan is dying. So we had a rebranding. We wanted to start over. So we made this new thing. It's called the United Empire, right? I didn't have any inspiration, to be honest. We just called it the United Empire, and UE for short. It sounded cool. It had a, like a ring to it, you know? And I think if we never did that, everything in the clan community would be so much different without us. The basics. We have been the first clan to do a lot of stuff. We're the first clan to have a kill house. Now a kill house is a basic thing that every clan should have. We are the first clan to have a lot of stuff. Parkour course. I think we're the first clan to have that. We have a lot of those. We're the first clan to have a functioning government. We're the first clan to have a functioning court, functioning parliament. We're the first clan to have a royal family. You know, we've been the first to do a lot of stuff. So now without us, if we didn't exist, a lot of the like norms in the clan community would not be norms. It would not have been shaped like it is today. And I think that's the whole history of UE. And now, obviously, we have the Galactic Empire, the SCP, and the Rec Military, which are our three big clans that we are very proud of. So we went from the three, SIA, Rec Military, and the Clone Wars, to what now is this Rec Military, which has always been there, the Galactic Empire, which is an updated version of the Clone Wars, and the SCP, which is a whole new idea. So yeah.
What do you like most about UE?
We're very diverse. We're active 24/7. Most clans, they either have full European servers or full American servers, you know? We have a mix of all of the above. We have, I remember this guy, um, he was South African, I think. He was a very close friend of mine. I don't know what happened to him, to be honest. I had a, we have a lot of Belgian people. All of them are cool. Um, we have a lot of people from Hollande, which is the Netherlands. That's, I said it in Arabic because that's what I call it. Anyways, we have a lot of Arabs. Me and Awesome, for example. Two of the leaders of the clan are of Arabic descent. We have Roz, he's Finnish, from Finland. We have some Russians, some Ukrainians. Um, we have some actual people that are refugees of the current war in Ukraine. And uh, they're, like, they've gone inactive to fight for Ukraine. I'm very proud of them. Uh, we had some East Asian. We had a Thai person. Very diverse. That's what I like about it. That's what makes us more unique than any other clan. We're just very diverse. We're always active. I've done calculations, and we always 24/7 have more than 100 people in UE. 24/7.
What do you most dislike about UE?
Nothing. I couldn't think of something. Maybe some people specifically attacking me personally. That's something I dislike, but that's not UE related. That's just specific individuals.
Do you know the Rec military motto?
Yes. Protect with honor and serve with pride. I think, is that... Yeah, I think that's it. Protect with honor and serve with pride.
I don't know it by heart myself, so I sounds right to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, Throughout UE, how many mottos are there?
One, I'm pretty sure. We've always had protect with honor and serve with pride.
Okay. Is that a unanimous motto throughout all the clans, or is that just specific to Rec
Just the
military?
rec military. Yeah. But if you go like very deep into it, you can find that actually every branch has its own motto. Like if you dig deep into our education system, every branch has its own motto, but they're not really used. They're not like I don't know how to explain it. They're not like official. They're just like a
Sure.
motto that they have.
So tell me about the badge, the one with the bird on
The
it.
coat of arms.
Yes, yes.
The coat of arms. This is the new coat of arms of the United Empire. It's not published yet, but will be considered the coat of arms of the United Empire very soon when the new rec military is published and when the new government system is established, which is a more monarchy-based government system. Obviously, you can see the flag of the United Empire in the middle, being safeguarded by the crown of the emperor on the top of it. And over here, you can see the crown of the crown princes, right? And you can see the two ribbons that represent the two crown princes. These are the royal jewels over here, including the two crowns, obviously. And yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it?
It truly
It,
is.
it's it represents the royal family and how we are intertwined with UE and we protect it, we safeguard its territorial integrity.
So what influenced you to go with eagles or whatever bird that might be?
We've always had an eagle, but like this is more European style and it's beautiful. I mean, yeah, it's just, I hope you like it.
I do, yes, it is a spectacle to behold.
Mm.
Do you think a hamster should be added to the royal family?
Excuse me. What?
Yes, a hamster.
Hmm. We could consider it.
Could
I'll make
consider it.
sure to
Okay.
bring it up to my fellow family members.
Okay. How has your time in UE affected your mental health?
Hmm. Well, I've been diagnosed, like, medically with some stress-related skin, like, it's not a disorder. It's like I've always had a, like, issue with being under the heat. Like, everyone knows I'm always like, oh, I'm so cold, you know, because my room temperature is always, like, so low because I have issues with being under heat. Um, which is very stress related according to the doctor that I went to, the dermatologist. So I think it's affected me negatively, but stress is a natural thing, you know?
Do you think surrender is a good military tactic?
No.
Could you
I'm the type of
elaborate
person
on
to
why?
fight to death. I'm not, like, it's a good tactic, military. Would I do it? Never. Under no circumstances will I ever surrender. First of all, I'm very stubborn. I'm very stubborn. I never let go, right? I'm gonna win no matter what. There was never a war that we fought, UE, that we've lost. The most recent OM war we've won, which was even, we have a clip of Ventbot admitting it. He was making a joke, and they've always been known for saying, "Ah, no, we didn't lose the war. We didn't do this. We didn't do that. They lost. We won." That's what the notion was, the OM, right? But we have the specific clip of Ventbot, the current leader of OM, saying, "Oh, why don't we make," it was in a joking manner. He said, "Oh, why don't we make like a hacking division just in case like UE wins another war again?" And he was like, "Ha ha ha, so funny." You know, it's obvious. They're trying to spread the propaganda, and many figures of many head of propagandas, ministers of propagandas in the past have always stated that if you repeat a lot lies enough times, it will become a truth. It's something like that. I don't remember the quote. It's from Goebbels, I think, or yeah, Goebbels from Nazi Germany. He was the notoriously known for his way of propaganda, which is a very successful way of propaganda.
Do you prefer low-cut, ankle-high, or knee-high socks?
um, hmm, no, socks. I don't know. Just
Socks, good
socks.
answer.
Yeah, socks.
How's your
I don't
time?
like the ones that are like so. I don't like socks that are so like long, you know?
Sure. How has your time in UE affected your physical health?
It's actually affected it well. We have a lot of PT. A lot. Especially if you work for the Imperial Legion. We have a lot of physical training, which is do 10 push-ups, do 20 push-ups, do 30 sit-ups. You know, we do those. Like deadass we do them. We're one of the only clans that actually do them seriously. We mess around a few times like when we do them. Like, oh, do 10 push-ups and every time you get up you have to say, I love dick, I love dick. You know, just an example. Like, we can, it's good for our physical health.
So, you might actually be interested to know. I spent some time in the MHA, and through my interviews with other people, I've found out that a lot of people's physical health has been affected positively since they've joined UE.
Yeah,
They've
uh,
started working out and going to
yeah,
the gym and
exactly.
whatnot.
We always try to encourage people to do that. At least I do. And Razan Awesome. Uh, we treat them like men. How men need to be treated. That's what we do. Especially the Imperial Legion. Because we want the Imperial Legion. We want it to be the most elite. It may not be at the moment, but it will have to be the elitist part of UE, you know? And we try to enforce like men behavior. You know, we don't want to have like some feminine dude like walking around like with his hand like this, you know, like Yas Queen. Yeah, we don't want that. Obviously, we don't mind. We have a lot of people like that, but like, you know, I'm not homophobic, by the way.
Do you believe lampshades are a good disguise?
Of course, what type of question is that?
It's a fun one.
It's camouflage. You can hide on the grass and have like what?
All
We're
right.
gonna
Well,
see.
I think that wraps up our interview.
Perfect. I'm very glad that you came here, and Mr. Film Crew,
Fred, yes.
Fred, Mr. Fred. Thank you very much. If you, uh, yes, thank you all very much for watching, and yeah, I'm your Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Mike out.